Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy, and welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you a challenge that I have put myself up to for the month of January. I will be sharing this challenge with you in February since I need to carry out the challenge in January. But this January 2022, I've decided to do a no spend month. And I have actually done no spend months in prior years. It started several years ago. I did a no spend month in January and I felt like it went pretty well. So the next year I decided to do no spend January and February. And then the following year I did January, February, and March because I felt like if I could do 2 months, surely I could do 3 months. And then in 2019, I did an entire no spend year. I don't have it completely chronicled on YouTube. I have a couple videos where I talk in hindsight about it because I didn't start my YouTube channel until the end of 2019. I do have several blog posts where each month I chronicled everything that happened in that month and my wins and losses. And you can definitely check that out at my website, organizedwithjoy.com. But in 2020 and in 2021, I kind of took a break from the no spend challenges. But here in 2022, I feel compelled to do it again. I feel like maybe in the last couple of years, I've slipped back into some old habits. And so I view a no spend month as kind of a palate cleanser, a way to retrain myself for healthier spending habits. And that is what I want to accomplish with this no spend month challenge. But I will try my best to chronicle this and talk about any challenges that I have throughout the month. And I've thought about kind of the rules. Whenever you do a no spend challenge, you kind of want to set up the rules in advance so you know what to expect and what your boundaries are. And for my no spend year, I specifically focused on not purchasing clothing, shoes, accessories, and home decor, because those are the two areas where I tend to spend money and bring more items into my home. So that is what I have decided to focus on in this month of January as well. Obviously, I will need to purchase food and any sort of toiletries and things that my family needs. So I will obviously continue to purchase those, but just no extra stuff, no things that I don't need to be shopping for. So that is what I'm doing for this challenge. I would love to hear from you if you have ever done a challenge like this. If you've done a no spend month or no spend year, I would love to hear from you. Okay, it is January 5th and I have not checked in with you about how it's going with my no spend month. And honestly, up until now, it's been pretty easy, primarily because I really haven't done any shopping. I honestly am just trying to get back into a regular routine after going on vacation and having the holidays and the kids home for winter break. So I'm still just trying to get my house back in order and just get a regular routine going. So I think that prevents me from doing any shopping anyway. But part of the reason I wanted to check in today is I've already failed. I have already failed. I just could not pass up. I found this really cute wooden vintage tray that really is exactly my style. And I actually found it a while ago and I've been kind of like following this item. I found it online and the price dropped again. It kept dropping and I kept debating, and then today it was just like, or I guess it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was just too good of a deal to pass up. And it's hard with items like that are vintage, just because they are one of a kind and you're not really gonna be able to find them again. So I guess maybe that was my reasoning in my mind, but it does make me realize that this is still like a habit for me where I really need to retrain my brain to just not shop, not bring things into my house. So, one failure, but I am just gonna get back on the horse and keep trying and just focus now on maybe even not looking at apps or looking at things online where I can shop online and not go into stores. Just that will help me to not be tempted, I guess, to purchase things. But that is where I'm at on day 5. Okay friends, it is January 10th, so it is the 10th day of my no spend month, and I wanted to check in because this weekend I went shopping with a friend at kind of like an antique mall thrift area, and it was a struggle, I'll have to admit. I found 2 pieces of home decor that I really wanted, and they were vintage and they would have been thrifted. And so I don't know if they're still gonna be there in a month here when I'm finished with my no spend month, but I'm glad that it gives me time to really think about if I want to bring those pieces into my home. But I will say on that day, in that moment, I really felt drawn to these items, and I think I would have purchased them had I not been on a no spend month, because I definitely felt like they were something that I wanted to add to my curated collection of home decor. But I decided I've already kind of cheated once, so I decided I need to not purchase those items. So I might go back in February if I'm still feeling it and see if those items are still there, but if they're not, I will just take that as I wasn't supposed to have them. But I did talk earlier, I can't remember if it was the last time I filmed or sometime in this video, I talked about how I did cheat and I did end up buying a vintage tray. It's actually like 2 pieces. Well, they came in the mail today, and so I thought I would open them with you and see if it was worth the cheat. And then this is the bigger piece. So that's what I got. And I was trying to decide if I should prolong my no spend month since I did purchase this. I purchased it pretty early in the month because obviously it's already arrived and it's the 10th. So I haven't fully decided, but maybe I will extend my no spend month by like a week since I did cheat, so that I'll have a consequence. Because if I don't have a consequence, then it seems like, why would I not cheat? I guess so that I can be proud that I finished this no spend month. But anyway, that is where I'm at on day 10. Okay, so I'm checking in with my no spend month. It is January 13th, so the 13th day of my no spend month. And this week I've actually just been at home a lot. Last week my son was exposed to COVID. He's been sick all week this week. Well, he's had a fever. We did get him tested yesterday and it came back negative, so not sure what that's all about, but the rest of us are still healthy. He's just got this fever. But the point in me telling you this is that I haven't really gone any place because I didn't know for the first few days if it was actually COVID or not. And even still, I'm not 100% sure that test was accurate. But I wanted to be cautious and just stay at home. And I was just thinking about how much easier it is to adhere to this no spend month if I'm not going places, if I'm not just browsing around, because I feel like that is when I see things that I want. But the main thing that I've been thinking about this last week is just, if I don't go into stores then I don't see things, then I don't buy things. So, maybe I just need to be going into stores less, and that would help. Although there's also online stuff and ads through Instagram and stuff like that that I see, but I guess I just don't click on those because I know that I can't buy anything. But those are just some thoughts I'm having here. The 13th day, we're about halfway through the month, so almost finished with this no spend month, and it's just cruising along. I think just in part because this week I have not gone anywhere and so haven't really been tempted, but that is where I'm at here mid-month. Okay, so it's already January 21st and I feel like I have not done very many check-ins, and I think that's primarily because this month's challenge does not feel super challenging to me. And before I turned on the camera, I was just sitting here thinking about why that is. And I think I've mentioned before that some of it is I wasn't like in stores shopping. And I guess because I am doing this no spend challenge month, I'm purposefully not clicking on ads in Instagram or Facebook or going to the usual sites that I might go to purchase things, just because I know that that's a temptation, and so I might as well not even go to those sites. One thing that I was thinking about though is when I went shopping with my friend and we were thrifting and I found something and I thought to myself, well, I'll go back in February and see if it's still there. I still might go back and see if that item is still there. But it did get me to thinking, I usually do like to sit on something for at least 24 hours if I find something that I want. That way I like remove that impulse buying out of the equation. But I'm wondering if I should wait even longer, because it doesn't feel hard to wait a month to go back and check and see if it's there, or evaluate if I even still want the item. So this is something else that I like to do to kind of curb spending, is to put off buying something. If I want it, I give some time to let it simmer and let me think about it before I make a final decision. But those are some thoughts that I have been having recently, or over the last week or so. I don't remember when I last filmed, but those are some thoughts that I've had since the last time I filmed. But I'm sure I will check in again. I have a topic that I kind of want to address, but I'm wondering if I should address it in one of my Thoughtful Thursday videos, because it could be a whole video on its own, and that is shopping addiction or spending addiction. I might talk a little bit about it in the next clip, but I will likely save it for a Thoughtful Thursday to do kind of a deep dive on that topic. Okay, so it is January 27th and I am checking in again today because I had a fail again. So if you follow my channel and you watched my kitchen nook deep clean video, in that video I had some vintage coffee carafes fall and break while I was cleaning. And it was really disappointing. I really loved them. They were vintage, so they're kind of hard to come by. I believe I found both of those on Facebook Marketplace previously. And I thought to myself, well, that's one less thing to have in my home to declutter later, one less thing to clean, to organize, to keep up with. But the more I thought about it, I really liked the aesthetic of it. And it came with like this little burner that you like lit a candle to keep the coffee warm, like I guess if you're having guests over or whatever. So long story short, I found another one on Facebook Marketplace and purchased it. And I guess my reasoning was that they are hard to come by because they're vintage, like the exact one that I wanted. There's a lot of different styles, and there was this particular style that I really liked, and I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, so I ended up purchasing it, and here we are with only 4 days left in the month. And I thought to myself, well, I could wait 4 days, but then what if it's gone? But I guess I excused myself because those coffee carafes did break. For what it's worth, 2 broke. I owned 2. They both broke, and I'm only replacing it with 1, so maybe that's okay. Also, I think I have already mentioned this, but I believe I'm going to continue to go through the month of February doing no spend, and I really feel like so far in January it hasn't been all that difficult, and it's making me realize how much I have changed, because sometimes I feel like, man, I still shop a lot or I still buy things, but the truth is I'm starting to realize how intentional I actually am about what comes into my home. And I think that that is just a byproduct of just constant decluttering and realizing at one point I purchased this stuff. So when I go out and go to Target and see all that stuff in the Target dollar spot, I think to myself, do I really, really want this enough to have to deal with it later and declutter it later? So I am realizing through this process of doing a no spend month in January that I really have changed from just a few years ago, my mindset about shopping and about bringing things into my home. So if nothing else, I'm grateful to know that my mindset actually has shifted. Okay, I meant to film this yesterday. It's actually February 1st, so yesterday was the last day of my no spend month. And honestly, I felt like it wasn't as big of a challenge as I expected it to be. Granted, I did have those 2 instances where I kind of cheated, so maybe that helped. But I remember the very first time I did a no spend month, when it was over, I was like, take me to Target, take me to the boutiques, I need to buy things. And I definitely do not feel that way at all. And I realized that maybe I am starting to be less tempted by things like clothing and home decor, and more tempted by organization tools, because I did notice that that is something that I purchased during this month. However, that was not like part of the no spend month. It was specifically focused on clothes and home decor. And while I did have moments of maybe being a little bit tempted to buy things and then not buying them, overall I didn't really find this challenge to be all that difficult. I did want to talk a little bit about shopping addiction. So the reason why I started doing no spend challenges, which I started my first no spend challenge month like I think 5 or 6 years ago now, the reason why I did these things is because I felt like my shopping habits became problematic. And the year that I did the no spend year back in 2019, I chronicled all of that on my website through blog posts each month. So if you're curious, you can go read those blog posts. I actually did make a 2-part video or videos where I talked about that experience, since I did start my channel at the very end of 2019. So I did share it on my channel. But basically, these no spend challenges for me was to try to break habits that I felt like had become problematic. And honestly, the challenge series that I have on my channel where I'm collabing with other ladies, for me anyway, is really to evaluate my behaviors in life and try to challenge myself to choose healthier behaviors. And so that was my goal with this no spend month. I do want to talk more in depth about shopping addiction, but I think I'm going to save that for a Thoughtful Thursday video where I can talk a little bit more in depth about the psychology around it and all of that. But I guess to sum up my experience, I didn't feel like it was as challenging as I thought it was going to be, and I'm going to continue to focus on decluttering my home and not bringing things into my home, and being even more intentional with what I bring into my home, and making sure I'm giving myself at least 24 hours before I actually purchase something to just sit on it before I decide that I'm actually gonna go ahead and purchase it and bring it into my home. But I hope this challenge video was somehow motivational or inspirational to you, and definitely check out the other ladies' videos for this challenge month. That, like I mentioned, we're all doing totally different challenges, so you will be inspired in different ways by the other ladies' videos, and I will have all the information linked in my description box below. But if you are coming over from one of the other ladies' channels, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope that you enjoyed this video enough to check out other videos or to hit that subscribe button. But thank you so much for watching this video today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!